It was a sunny Thursday morning when Lisa Carter's life shifted in a way she didn't expect. She had just turned 30 and was ready to celebrate in style. Working as an IT specialist at a large tech company in California, Lisa earned a good salary and finally felt secure. Her parents, John and Mary, lived in Ohio with her younger sister, Emily, a 21-year-old college student. Lisa had moved across the country 7 years earlier for work. Though the distance hadn't bothered her much before, the thought of her 30th birthday made her want her family by her side. This is a milestone, she thought. I want them here, all of them. Where are you watching from today? Kindly hit like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more. 2 months before her birthday, Lisa picked up the phone and called her mother. The line rang 3 times before Mary answered. Hi Mom. Listen, I know it's a little early but I'm planning something special for my 30th. I really want you, Dad and Emily to be here, Lisa said with excitement. There was a pause, short but noticeable, before Mary replied, Well, that sounds nice, dear. Let me talk to your father. Lisa could hear faint murmuring in the background but couldn't make out the words. When Mary returned to the line, her tone was hesitant. We'd love to come, Lisa. But flights are so expensive these days. Lisa jumped in quickly. Don't worry about that. I'll pay for everything, the flights, the hotel. You can even stay here at my place. I've got more than enough room. Mary still didn't sound convinced. Well, if you're sure. Let me check with Emily too. Later that afternoon, Lisa called her sister. Hey, did Mom tell you about my birthday plans? It's my 30th, so I want everyone here. Emily's voice was distracted. Yeah. I guess, if you're paying for everything. Lisa forced a laugh. I am. You just need to show up. A few days later, Emily called back. About your birthday thing. Flights are crazy expensive right now. Maybe instead of you booking them, you could just send me the money? I'm good at finding deals and watching prices drop. Might save you some cash. Lisa hesitated for a second. How much are we talking? Emily replied without missing a beat. About $1,500 for all 3 tickets. Lisa agreed and transferred the money that same afternoon. Perfect, Emily said. I'll start looking tomorrow. Lisa trusted her sister. After all, Emily had always been good with money. 2 weeks passed without a single update about the flights. Lisa told herself Emily was just waiting for a better deal. Work kept her busy and she started focusing on the party instead. She booked a table at a fancy Italian restaurant downtown that could seat 15. The deposit alone was $300, but Lisa didn't care. The reviews were amazing and she wanted the night to be perfect. She imagined sitting there surrounded by her family, friends and coworkers, feeling proud and celebrated. She had no idea that the perfect night she was planning was about to unravel in the most shocking way. One afternoon, Lisa's phone lit up with a call from her mother. Hi, sweetheart, Mary began in a careful tone. I hope you don't mind me asking, but could you help us out with something else? Lisa frowned slightly. What's up? Mary sighed. Well, your father and I realized we don't have anything nice to wear to your party. Everything we own is old and out of style. We'd be so embarrassed showing up like that. Lisa glanced at her own closet, thinking of the dress she'd just bought for herself. How much do you need? She asked cautiously. Maybe $2,000 for clothes and to get our hair done, Mary replied. Guilt was heavy in her voice, as if Lisa would be selfish to say no. Lisa hesitated but then told herself, it's my 30th. You only turn 30 once. All right, she said quietly. I'll send it. Mary's tone instantly brightened. Thank you, sweetheart. You're such a good daughter. Lisa transferred the money immediately, bringing the total she had sent her family to $3,500. That night she sat at her kitchen table doing the math. Flights, clothes, hair, they'll have no reason not to come now. She tried to shake off a small, uneasy feeling that had been growing since her first call with them. The day before her birthday, Lisa was running around, ticking off last-minute tasks. She picked up the cake, confirmed the reservation at the restaurant, and cleaned her apartment for any overnight guests. Around noon, her doorbell rang. A delivery man stood outside holding a medium-sized box. Lisa Carter? Need a signature here. She signed, curious about the sender. The return address was her parents in Ohio. Confused, she carried the box to the kitchen counter. Why send a package when they'll be here tomorrow? She thought. Lisa opened the card taped to the top. Happy 30th birthday, Lisa. Love, Mom, Dad, and Emily. She tore open the box and pulled out a dress. It was a shiny metallic pink nightmare straight out of the 1980s. Puffy sleeves, a ridiculous bow around the waist, and the unmistakable scent of mothballs filled the air. She wrinkled her nose, holding it up. That's when she saw it. The thrift store tag still attached with the price in bold black ink, $15. She stared at the dress, stunned. This has to be a joke. But the card wasn't playful, and her family was not the joking type. Lisa grabbed her phone and called her mom. No answer. She called her dad. Straight to voicemail. She tried Emily, also voicemail. Now uneasy, she sent a text to her mom. Got your package. Why send this instead of bringing it tomorrow? And why isn't anyone answering? Hours passed with no reply. When her phone finally buzzed at 8 p.m., her mother's message made her blood run cold. That's your birthday present. We used the money you sent to pay for a trip for Emily instead. She's in Hawaii with her friends. Don't be mad. Emily is our priority right now. Lisa read the text over and over, each word cutting deeper. They had taken her $3,500, money meant for flights and clothes so they could attend her party, and used it to send Emily to Hawaii. And this ugly pink dress was all they thought she deserved. Her hands trembled as she typed back. I understand perfectly. She set her phone down, staring at the dress. All at once, memories came flooding back. How she had been expected to babysit Emily when she was just a teenager herself. How she sent her little gifts while working part-time in college. How she'd been paying for Emily's tuition for the past 3 years. For a moment, Lisa almost laughed. Priority. That was the word her mother had used. Emily was their priority. Not the daughter who had been helping pay their mortgage for the last 2 years. Not the one who had sent expensive gifts for every holiday. No, Emily, the one sipping cocktails in Hawaii on Lisa's dime. Lisa walked to her kitchen drawer, pulled out a pair of scissors and sat down with the dress. Let's see how much of a priority this is now, she muttered. She began cutting, the metallic pink fabric ripping with every snip. Piece by piece, the sleeves, the bow, the skirt, it all fell apart. By the time she was done, 20 jagged scraps of fabric lay on her coffee table. She shoved them into a trash bag and tied it tight. It wasn't just a dress she was throwing away. It was years of being taken advantage of, years of always giving and never getting anything in return. She dropped the bag into the bin outside and stood there in the cool night air, breathing deeply. Lisa made a decision right then. She would cancel every payment she'd been making for them. The mortgage help, Emily's tuition, all of it. But she wouldn't do it that night. She refused to let their drama ruin her actual birthday. Tomorrow, she decided, would be about celebrating with people who truly cared about her. She poured herself a glass of wine, sat back on the couch, and began mentally preparing for the party. The next evening, Lisa slipped into a sleek black dress she had bought for herself. She curled her hair, put on a bit of lipstick, and smiled at her reflection. The Italian restaurant looked even better than she'd imagined. White and gold balloons floated above the tables, candles flickered softly, and the air was filled with the smell of fresh bread and garlic. Her friends began arriving right on time, each one greeting her with hugs, laughter, and thoughtful gifts. For the first time in days, Lisa felt a spark of genuine happiness. An hour into the party, Lisa's friend Sarah leaned across the table. So, when do your parents and Emily get here? Lisa had prepared for this question, but it still stung. She forced a polite smile. They couldn't make it. Flight issues. Sarah's face softened. That's too bad. Others around the table looked disappointed but didn't press further. Lisa quickly steered the conversation to other topics, determined not to let the mood drop. As the night went on, Lisa realized just how lucky she was to have these friends. Jenny brought her a bouquet of bright pink and white lilies. Marcus handed her a coffee mug that read 30 and thriving. They laughed, shared stories, and enjoyed plate after plate of pasta and wine. For a while, Lisa almost forgot about her family's betrayal, until she checked her phone. No messages. No calls. Not even a simple happy birthday from the people she had been supporting for years. Scrolling absent-mindedly, Lisa saw something that made her jaw tighten. Emily's Instagram updates. There she was on a beach in Hawaii, holding a cocktail in one photo, posing against a sunset in another, smiling with friends in front of a resort pool. Every single moment of that trip had been paid for with Lisa's money. She slipped her phone back into her bag, telling herself she wouldn't let it ruin her night. Later, when they returned to Lisa's apartment for more drinks, she began taking her own photos. Pictures of the cake, the group laughing, her blowing out the candles. She posted a few on Facebook and Instagram with the caption, "30th birthday with my amazing friends." Within half an hour, her mother commented on one of the photos, "Why didn't you wear the gorgeous pink dress we sent you?" Lisa stared at the comment in disbelief. "The audacity," she muttered under her breath. She grabbed the photo she had taken of the dress when it arrived, thrift store tag still attached, and replied, "Do you mean this dress? The one with the $15 thrift store price tag?" She hit post, then set her phone down. But soon her friends started noticing. "Lisa, what's this about a dress?" Jenny asked, holding up her phone. Sarah's eyes were wide. "Did your mom really send you a used dress for your 30th? Lisa sighed. "It's complicated." But the questions kept coming. Marcus glanced at his phone. Your mom replied again. "She says they spent hours choosing that dress and she's disappointed you didn't appreciate their thoughtful gift." Lisa's eyebrows shot up. "Thoughtful," she said, her voice sharp. She picked up her phone and typed, "I turned 30 years old today and you sent me a used dress that cost $15. After I sent you $3,500 for flights and clothes so you could be here." Then she posted another photo, the package with her parents' return address clearly visible and the pink dress still inside. Her friends went silent, reading the comments as they poured in. Lisa finally told them the full story. The $1,500 for flights, the $2,000 for clothes, Emily's Hawaii trip, and the complete lack of birthday wishes. The more she talked, the more outraged her friends became. Within minutes, her post had dozens of comments from friends and coworkers. "I would never give my daughter a gift like this," Jenny wrote. Sarah added, "Where are your parents? Why aren't they at your 30th birthday?" Marcus didn't hold back. "This is the worst birthday gift I've ever seen. You deserve better." Lisa's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. Her mom was calling. Lisa hesitated, then answered. "What?" she said flatly. "Lisa Marie, you delete that post right now," Mary's voice snapped. "You've embarrassed us in front of everyone. How dare you put our private business on the internet?" Lisa laughed bitterly. "Private business? You mean the fact that you stole money from me and sent me garbage for my birthday?" Mary bristled. "We did not steal anything. That money was a gift." "A gift with strings attached apparently," Lisa shot back. "If you don't delete it, we'll have to limit contact with you," Mary threatened. "Oh no," Lisa said mockingly. "Whatever will I do without people who steal from me?" Her mother called her dramatic, but Lisa cut her off. "Here's some more drama for you. Right after I hang up, I'm canceling the mortgage payments and Emily's tuition. All of it." She ended the call, opened her banking app, and began shutting down every automatic payment she'd been making for years. Lisa returned to the living room, phone still in hand. "I just canceled everything," she announced. Her friends erupted into cheers, clinking glasses and hugging her. For the rest of the night they celebrated harder than ever. They stayed up until 3 in the morning, drinking wine, laughing and sharing stories. Every so often Lisa's phone would buzz. Calls from her parents, texts from Emily, but she ignored every single one. When she finally went to bed, she had 15 missed calls and over a dozen messages, all variations of "we need to talk." The next morning, Lisa sent one final text to Emily. "I don't want to talk to thieves who stole $3,500 from me." Then she blocked her parents and sister on every platform: Facebook, Instagram, phone, email. For the first time in years there was silence. No constant requests for money. No guilt trips. Just peace. 2 weeks passed. Lisa adjusted quickly to her new reality. Without the $2,000 she'd been sending every month, she started saving at an impressive pace. She added more to her retirement account and even began looking at condos for sale. She smiled more at work, slept better and felt lighter. The constant stress of keeping her family afloat had been replaced by a sense of freedom she hadn't felt since leaving home. Then one Saturday morning a knock sounded at her door. Lisa looked through the peephole and froze. Her parents and Emily were standing there, suitcases in hand. She opened the door only slightly. "What are you doing here?" she asked sharply. Mary didn't answer. She pushed past Lisa into the living room as if she owned the place. "Lisa, this has gone too far," Mary said. John and Emily followed without being invited. The bank sent us a warning about the mortgage, Mary continued. They're threatening foreclosure if we miss another payment. You have to start sending money again. Emily crossed her arms. And I only have 1 year left of college. You can't just abandon me now. Lisa stared at her sister, remembering those Hawaii photos. If you want to finish college, get a job and pay for it yourself. John stepped forward, his voice hard. You're being vindictive. This is about that stupid dress, isn't it? Lisa's jaw tightened. No. This is about you stealing $3,500 from me and treating me like garbage. We didn't steal anything, Mary snapped. We're your family. You're supposed to help family. Lisa took a step closer. Help goes both ways, Mom. Tell me, when have any of you ever helped me? All three of them started talking at once, voices rising, calling her selfish, ungrateful, petty. Emily accused her of abandoning responsibilities. John shook his head like he was disappointed in her. But Lisa didn't flinch. If you want to keep your house, Lisa said firmly, get full-time jobs instead of working part-time. Mary's mouth fell open. We shouldn't have to work full-time at our age. Then lose the house, Lisa replied coldly. I don't care anymore. She walked to the front door and flung it open. Get out of my house right now. When they didn't move, Lisa stepped forward and began physically guiding them toward the door. John resisted at first, muttering under his breath. Emily turned just before stepping out. You'll regret this, she said, her voice shaking with anger. Lisa slammed the door in her face without another word. She stood there for a moment, leaning against the door, her hands trembling, not from fear but from adrenaline. She'd just done something she'd never dared to do before. She had put herself first, completely and unapologetically. As she sat down on the couch, she realized she didn't feel sadness. She felt relief. Months passed without direct contact. Lisa heard bits and pieces from distant relatives. Her parents had in fact gotten full-time jobs. They complained constantly about how hard they were working and how ungrateful Lisa was. Emily had taken on 2 part-time jobs to cover her tuition for her final year. She was exhausted, juggling work and school with no time for beach trips or nights out. Did Lisa feel bad? Not really. Any time guilt crept in, she pictured that shiny pink thrift store dress and remembered the text from her mother. Emily is our priority. That sentence had burned itself into her memory, and it served as a reminder that her decision was the right one. Meanwhile, Lisa was thriving. She had saved enough for a down payment on a condo and was already touring potential places. Her social life was the best it had been in years. More dinners with friends, weekend getaways, and even a budding relationship with a kind coworker who actually treated her with respect. Occasionally, her cousins would try to talk her into reconciling. They're your family, Lisa. Don't you think you're being a little harsh? She would ask them one simple question. Did they tell you about the dress? When they shook their heads, she'd pull out the photo she still had on her phone. The garish pink dress with the $15 tag still attached. Their reactions were always the same. They sent you this? After you gave them how much? $3,500, Lisa would answer. That was usually enough to end the conversation. The sympathy in their eyes told her they finally understood why she'd drawn the line. Lisa knew she wasn't being vindictive or petty. She was simply doing something she should have done years ago, making herself a priority. For decades she had been the responsible one, the helper, the giver. Now she was free of the constant drain, surrounded only by people who valued her. And for the first time in her life she didn't just feel like she was surviving, she felt like she was living. Some evenings, Lisa would sit on her balcony with a glass of wine, watching the California sunset. She thought about how much her life had changed in just a few months. No more constant demands. No more being made to feel guilty for not giving enough. For the first time she was free to dream without worrying about someone else draining her bank account. Her phone no longer lit up with texts from her parents asking for money, but sometimes it buzzed with distant relatives forwarding her the latest gossip. Your mom says she can't believe you abandoned them, one message read. Lisa just laughed. They abandoned me a long time ago, she would think. I just finally noticed. Emily hadn't reached out either, but Lisa had seen her pop up in mutual friends' social media posts, looking tired, wearing a plain work uniform instead of beach dresses. Lisa didn't feel spite. She felt nothing. And that nothingness was strangely empowering. She no longer lived for their approval, which meant they could no longer hurt her. At work, Lisa's boss pulled her aside one day. I'm impressed with how focused you've been lately. You seem lighter. Lisa smiled. I guess I've been making some changes. She didn't go into details, but she knew exactly why. Cutting her family off had cut the weight from her shoulders. When she finally closed on her condo, Lisa stood in the empty living room and just listened to the silence. No arguing, no guilt trips, no manipulative phone calls, just peace. She sent a single group text to her closest friends. Housewarming party soon. And this time no one will be asking me for money. That party felt different from the last one. Every person there was someone who genuinely cared for her, not because of what she could give them but because of who she was. Her friends toasted to her new home, her new life, and her freedom. Lisa looked around the room and realized, this was her real family. Months later she happened to walk past a thrift store while running errands. In the display window she saw a mannequin wearing a shiny pink dress eerily similar to the one her parents had sent her. She stopped for a moment, smirked, and kept walking. That dress no longer represented pain. It was just a reminder of how far she'd come. Lisa never unblocked her parents or Emily. She knew they still complained about her to anyone who would listen. But their voices no longer reached her and their opinions no longer mattered. She had learned the most important lesson of her adult life. Boundaries weren't cruelty, they were protection. Her friends sometimes asked if she thought she'd ever speak to her family again. Lisa always gave the same answer. Only if they learn how to treat me with respect. Until then I'm fine without them. And the truth was she meant it. She had filled her life with people and experiences that brought her joy, not stress. Looking back, Lisa realized that her 30th birthday had been the turning point. What started with a $15 thrift store dress ended with her reclaiming her independence. She no longer measured her worth by how much she gave others. Instead she measured it by the peace she felt when she woke up in the morning. And in that peace she found a life that was finally hers. Moral lesson. Someone shows you they value you less than what you give them, stop giving. Respect yourself enough to set boundaries even with family. Remember to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more of this.